Like the world just stopped for a second, and I couldn't believe it. You could ask her, like I barely reacted because it was like I was not expecting to hear that news.
The first thing I did, I called my mom. Yeah, we both cried. It was life-changing.
Yeah, young guys there too. Finally, some good medical news here. Welcome back to Wake Up America. A small study on a certain type of cancer is making headlines with amazing results. Complete remission for everyone involved in this cancer trial, led by NYC-based Sloan Kettering. The trial used only immunotherapies to treat 14 people who were diagnosed with rectal cancer 2 years later. All 14 are cancer-free. Joining us now for more is internist with Northwell Health, Dr. Frank Conacessa. Dr. Frank, good to see you again. What do you make of this?
Morning, Rob, and it's nice to be here with good news for a change. Yeah, this is an exciting study. So there's a couple of things to know about this. So this particular drug is actually what's known as a monoclonal antibody, which we're all familiar with from our COVID days, but it's a different type of antibody. So think of monoclonal antibodies. Antibodies in themselves are usually considered to be soldiers of the immune system. And if you want to think about monoclonal antibodies, it's like special forces. They're specially trained and they're specially designed to go after a particular target. In this case, it's a receptor on the surface of the cells of the cancer cells. It's a protein that actually edits the DNA, so it's to repair. When you can't repair DNA, the errors turn into cancer. So what this drug does is slow that down. So what's unprecedented here is that all 12 or 14 of the subjects in here are cancer-free. Normally, you'd be happy if half of them did well. The fact that all of them did well is really what's groundbreaking here. Now, one thing to note, this particular type of colorectal cancer is 5 to 10%. This particular mutation is only about 5 to 10% of cases of colorectal cancer. So this may not have, this will save some lives, but this may not be beneficial to the vast majority of people with colorectal.
Well, that's good news right there, that this will save lives. The New England Journal of Medicine, one of the most prominent medical publications that we have, was astounded by this study and speculated that based on the results of these immunotherapies, this could be rolled out for other types of cancers. Do you see that happening, and soon?
Yeah, we hope so. As a matter of fact, other cancers may have this same kind of receptor. So any cancer that has this particular protein, it would be susceptible to this drug. So that's going to require more investigation.
Let's talk about coronavirus. I don't really want to, but we can. I'd rather talk about the good news there. Novavax has rolled out a new protection vaccine. That's what they're calling this. Basically, which I thought was an oxymoron. I thought the point of a vaccine was to protect us from getting COVID. But Novavax says this is something that will be an option for people. This will prevent you from getting COVID. Can you explain this to us? Because I sort of thought that's what the Pfizer vaccine, that's what the Moderna vaccine, the J&J vaccines, I thought that was what they were supposed to do too. But somehow this one is a little bit different.
Well, Rob, we all thought that's what they were going to do. And in the beginning, it seemed like they were. But as time went on, the virus mutated and they became less and less effective at preventing the transmission and the contraction of the virus. The Novavax data looks good so far. I have not seen, there's not a ton of data yet. So we're going to have to wait and see how that rolls out, particularly as new strains present themselves as we head into the fall. But it's exciting. It's potentially good news.
Yeah, it could be interesting to see how that develops. Before we go, just quickly on monkeypox. The CDC says, and this happened with COVID, if you remember, way back March 2020. Apparently, monkeypox could be airborne now. The CDC yesterday raised our alert level to level 2 when it comes to monkeypox. There's only 3 levels. How concerned are you about monkeypox becoming a big deal here?
So I preface the answer to this, and when I've been talking about monkeypox lately, the caveat with monkeypox is if it's the traditional form of monkeypox that we've seen, over the last decades, we shouldn't be in any danger at all because it's difficult to get, it's difficult to spread, it's usually self-limited. The outbreaks usually burn themselves out. If the virus has changed, either naturally or unnaturally, then we could be looking at a different picture. If this is not the same monkeypox that we've encountered, if it's gone airborne, Well, that's troubling. And the question will be, how did it change? Because orthopox viruses in general tend to be fairly stable. They really don't change.
Interesting. And the CDC, again, their messaging so confusing. They said their advice to the American people: practice enhanced precautions. Whatever.
Nothing new there, Rob.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, thanks, CDC. I'll do that. I'm practicing them right now. Dr. Frank, good to see you again. Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Rob.
Glad to hear about that study. Yeah.